Hey guys, John here from the Strong Life Club. Thank you for joining us. And I'm joined here today by Rita Booth, who is a life purpose coach, a mental well-being coach, and a startup business coach at RPB Coaching. So thank you very much, Rita, for joining me. I hope you're well.
I am, thanks, John. It's nice to be here and to have a chat with you.
Yeah, good. Now we met up at a BNI group, which is fantastic. I've got a lot from that. I met some great people,
Yeah,
met some great contacts and things. So we've had a few conversations. And
yes, we have.
recently, obviously, with things starting back up and people's, let's how we're going to word this, people's routines going back to some more, you know, normality.
Hmm.
That people can be finding it quite tricky getting back into the swing of things and feeling good about themselves. Um,
Yeah,
on
yeah,
my aspect of, I'm helping people to, yes, drop body fat, feel good about themselves with their body, confidence, and their
mm,
health. And you even more so on the well-being side of things. And I thought there was a big conversation, and obviously you did as well, about how we can best start to help people get back into feeling good about themselves, the things that they can start to implement and do to really get back into feeling good about themselves, physically and mentally.
yeah, absolutely. I mean, in terms of the life purpose coaching that I do, yeah, it is all about mental well-being. It's about taking control of who you are, and actually kind of overcoming some of the challenges and the kind of the anxiety that you might be feeling. It's quite interesting at the moment because we're all so excited about getting out there and meeting family, meeting friends, and having a good time, that actually all the changes coming together is also having an opposite effect on many people, where people are actually feeling quite anxious about themselves, about their bodies, about their mental states. And actually, we've all been on a massive go slow for almost actually over a year. And in that go slow, we've kind of got used to getting up a bit later and not worrying about the travel, maybe not dressing up as much. It's okay to be a bit dressed down online. And all of a sudden, we're finding that actually we've got to manage all of these things back into our daily routines. And then the anxiety of looking good, of saying the right things, of feeling good about yourself, and always being happy, because that's what everyone's expecting right now. So
Yeah.
yeah, it's a really interesting month for me and the clients I'm working with. I suppose but you're finding the same thing with your clients.
Yeah, and one of the biggest things really is where to start. Really, I'm finding with a lot of people that I'm speaking to, is
Yeah.
they find themselves in this kind of state of overwhelm of like, well, I don't know where to start. I've got lots of information, and that's a big thing that I find. I don't know about you, Rita, but there's so much information out there for people to consume, just overwhelm and so much information and just not knowing where to start. And this is what some of the big conversations I'm having. Where do we need to start? What can we do to implement that doesn't take too much energy and too much thought, and then we can just start to implement it. And they're
Yeah.
a lot of my conversations I'm having at the moment. I don't know about yourself.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, the small steps are the really important thing. So, I'm really starting to work on because part of the discovery sessions that I do, that's the sort of thing we talk about. We talk about exactly what are the things that are feeling overwhelming, and what I'm finding is that actually it's not even the big stuff; it's the small stuff. It's what do I wear in the morning?
Yeah.
Who am I? Who am I now? Who am I supposed to be? And interestingly, a lot of people are trying to go back to that word normal,
Mhm.
because naturally we're going back outside, we're meeting the same people, but we're starting to try and resume the life we had in March 2020. And actually, we've all changed. So yeah, those kind of small steps in recognizing that we are a bit different. We might wear slightly different clothes. We might fit into our clothes, but we might not.
Yeah.
And all of those things are okay. And it's having that kind of guide or kind of top tips of how they move forward, those tiny little things, like just pausing. So at the weekend, don't overfill your diary over the next 4 or 5 weeks and spend too much time outside, but gently ease that back into the way you live, and actually taking time out. So allowing yourself to understand that you could easily get into stress mode if you overbook and overdo stuff.
Hmm. Yeah, no, absolutely. And my side, it's pretty much the same. It's kind of like, can we create some balance within your week? You
Yeah.
know, on my end, people want that health, that fitness, that the confidence within their body. And sometimes it's about not more. Well, a lot of the time, it's not about more, more, more. It's really kind of like, can we scale back? Can we really
Yes.
kind of scale things back and get
Mm.
some sort of balance across the week, so we can still interact well with family and friends. And that's
Yeah.
one that people don't really forget. It's business, or I want to be successful, or I want to lose this amount of weight and feel this way on the beach when I can go on holiday. And it's like, well, what about the people around you? They're going to be really important for you achieving this, so we need to make some time for them as well. So really, a big one for me is like, well, can we scale things back? What's really kind of taking up your time and your energy
Yeah.
that you can probably do without? I mean, we're all guilty of that. We can find ourselves on our phones more than we really need to be. We can have
Absolutely.
conversations that are probably not empowering us at all. And really consuming
Yeah.
kind of information that just we can do without.
It's quite interesting. Yeah. I mean, one of the biggest things that I've been teaching or working with my clients to understand is that pause button, and the fact that, we all have a pause button, and it's okay to press it at least 2 or 3 times a week.
Mm.
I actively at the moment, I have introduced the no device day. So Sundays are no device day. And actually, it's really important. It's quite interesting that my family and friends are really struggling to use the landline because we
Yeah,
don't
yeah,
we won't answer our mobile phones.
yeah.
But actually, what it has done over the last 3 or 4 weeks for us as a family is that it's made us realise that actually, do you know what? It's okay if we didn't read that article, because we'll catch up at some point. And you know what? If our friends are having a conversation, and it's okay for us not to be involved, but actually we've been outdoors a bit more, we've been in the garden a bit more, we've got the gardens ready, we've laughed a bit more as well, and actually it's been just a really nice, relaxing process, so that by the time we get back to a Monday or whenever we start the week, actually we start the week feeling a bit more revived.
Yeah, yeah. And I'm sure you agree here, Rita, that you're going to have a hell of a lot more chance of being consistent for longer. Whatever it may be. If you've got a goal
Yeah.
in mind, or if you've got your mental health, is something you need to work on, or feel you need to work on. Creating that time and that balance within your life is just going to allow you to be more consistent for longer periods of time.
Absolutely, you're absolutely right. A lot of conversations that I'm having at the moment are borderline burnout. So I've got a lot of clients who are busy at work, and work just gets busier. It's not going to get quieter because we're all going back to life. So actually, more and more of us are getting busier at work. But
Mhm.
actually, we're trying to balance that with the travel and the commute to work. We're trying to balance that with fitting family and friends in. Maybe going out for a drink, or going for some food. And all of a sudden, we are a lot of conversations that I'm having right now are about people who are starting to feel tired. They're starting to feel busy. They're starting to feel really busy.
Mhm.
And again, that creates what I call clutter in your mind,
Yeah.
rather than calm. And that's really important. Taking time out, going for a walk, continuing to do the well-being routines, and that's something I coach clients to maintain. It's great and easy when we were all at home. You could go for your half an hour walk, or your 1 hour walk, but actually, how do we fit that in with work and office and all of those sorts of things? So actually actively looking at how we manage our routines so that we bring well-being and keep well-being within the day.
Yeah, sure, absolutely. And I think there's so many other kind of very simple little things that we can implement. Off the top of my head, thinking about just like hydration. I mean, for concentration, sleep, recovery, feeling alert, just being able to feel like you can move around and have some sort of energy levels. Just little things like hydration, check in with yourself
Yeah.
a few times across the week, each day maybe, and just say, what am I dehydrated? We're always looking to get at least 2 to 3 liters in from day to day. But I really think that, things like that really get overlooked with hydration.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Hydration and also small snacks. I think it's really easy for people to get through a whole day and not actually eat until tea time, from breakfast to tea time. And actually, what happens is that, I mean, you know this better than I do, that actually your energy levels start to drop. And the more they drop, the more stressed and the more tired you feel, the more anxious you feel, more overwhelmed you become. And actually, hydration and food are so important in our bodies that actually they are pivotal in how happy and how in control we feel, but also in terms of how well we feel in achieving things and achieving our goals. And actually one of the big things is that I do help my clients to kind of create daily routines that include hydration, food, exercise, but also in terms of the emotional bank that we all have. It's about making sure that we do something that makes us feel happy and fun at least once a day, because without that laughter, without kind of talking to somebody that you really love and care about, then our emotional reserves start to become quite low, and that again then creates that burnout and overwhelm that lots of people describe.
Yeah, I remember, it makes me laugh because I can speak to clients and we go through their current uh, program that they're doing with their training or their nutrition and certain habits that we're trying to break down and build new ones. And I can say, okay, well, I want you to make sure you program in or put in the diary something you really love to do
Yeah.
with a friend or a family member, or go and have something great to eat that you just love, or do something. And they kind of look at me like, really, is this something a part of the program? I'm like, yeah, absolutely, it's really,
Yeah.
really important. So and it's just crazy how people just overlook that because they are so go orientated and consuming so much, they forget of
Yeah.
actually doing something they really enjoy. So it's a real good point, real good point.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, we're starved, aren't we? We're absolutely starved of experiences as humans in 2021. We love experiences, and we spend a lot of time, money, and energy chasing experiences, and yet we forget that actually the really small things, like just going and seeing a family member, maybe just knocking on your neighbour's door because you haven't seen them for a few months and saying hi. All these little things that fill up your emotional bank, the odd chat when you go to the shop, or someone you bump into, these kind of interactions, they really fill us up. And actually without them, our reserves become really, really low, and the day just becomes a bit of a routine and a bit of a structure. Yeah, so absolutely anything that makes you have fun, even if it's just kind of walking in grass with bare feet, if that makes you happy, do it.
Yeah, absolutely. No, it's really, really important that people hear that and take action with that. The other one I wanted to talk about, and I think is really pivotal, Rita, is sleep, rest, recovery. Again, I think people think they do that, and obviously they do, and we all need sleep. But at what particular level? Is it quality sleep or poor sleep, or is there sleep all over the place? And I think for a lot of people, that's the case. And I know for a
Absolutely.
fact that I'm talking to clients consistently about what's your sleep like, what's your quality of sleep, what's your pre-bed routine. Have you got specific times that you want to be winding down, getting into bed, going to sleep, and then are you keeping that consistent across the week? I don't know if you've got anything to say about that.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, my clients and I actively talk about pre-sleep routines. No devices, no TV. Maybe read a book, maybe have a conversation. Really kind of like bring down the energy levels
Yeah,
in stages over the evening, because a lot of my clients are a go 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 go. They're high achievers. They spend a lot of time doing, sitting and being quiet is really challenging for a lot of my clients,
yeah,
and actually just helping them to understand that kind of it's almost about the meditation part of your routine before you go to sleep, and finding some way of just sitting calmly, and either way, whatever it is that makes you happy to do, draw, talk to somebody, read, whatever it is. It's that half an hour of just complete step down from
Mm,
everything before you get in bed and before you go to sleep. Because actually, sleep, again, for my clients, sleep is one of those things that if you don't have enough, it builds up over the week. So by the Thursday, Friday, the very time that you want to start winding down and end up in a nice weekend, by that very point you're so stressed on the Friday afternoon that actually you get to a point, it's almost like a crescendo, that
yeah.
actually it takes 3 days to calm down, and then you're back at work again, so the whole thing builds up and becomes quite draining, I think.
Yeah, no, absolutely, and you're right, because I find that if that sleep starts to diminish, it's poor sleep, you can say goodbye to, eating well, moving towards
Yeah,
your goals if it's in business, or, you have particular life goals. You just
yeah,
can't sustain that push because your rest and recovery isn't at a level to sustain that and to support it. Um, but
yeah,
I mean, you can take. I mean, I really like that pre-bed routine because again, that's a bit of you time. That's looking after yourself. It's centering
mhm,
again. I talk to a lot of my clients about, coming away from any electrical devices, getting in a nice hot bath, Epsom salt, something like that. Just spoil themselves, getting rid of any kind of alcohol that's late, and caffeine, and also kind of like, picking up a book. I know if I pick up a book in bed, I'm gone. That'll put me to sleep.
that's
Um,
perfect.
yeah, absolutely. And just like even like a blackout blind, making sure that you're in a very dark room, cool
Yes.
room, setting the room up in a way that is supporting sleep and good quality sleep as well.
Absolutely. I also think that sometimes bedrooms, we forget in our kind of day of connectivity, we forget that our bedrooms are a really safe space, and they're supposed to be safe and relaxing. And I think sometimes we as individuals, we take our day routines into the bedroom, we take them all over the house, and actually that way we don't have those designated spaces that our minds connect with being relaxed and being calm. And I think that's something that, not I think, that's what me and my clients do quite a lot. We get the mindset right, and we learn to bring our spaces back into our homes, where we understand that these spaces equal certain things. And actually, it's really important to kind of make the bedroom a calm and relaxing space, so that your mind gets used to that idea of going to the bedroom means, you start to relax, you start to
Yeah.
wind down, and all of those sorts of things.
Kind of plays it like a bit of a trigger. Your body, your mind realizes, okay, this is time to wind down. It's that trigger point, isn't it?
Yeah,
But
absolutely.
And then you've got the other side of that at mornings. And again, this is another big one that really kind of throws people off and winds people up into a bit of a frenzy, particularly if you've got children, young children. Mornings can be a hectic time of the day,
Yeah,
and not a great
absolutely.
way to start your day. Um, so I really kind of talk to people about kind of, can you have more of an empowering morning? And for some people, this might be more challenging than others. Again, particularly if you've got young family and you go, go, go. But just creating some time for you, maybe have to get up a little bit earlier, but make sure it's not as rushed. Spend some time on yourself. I like to get my clients to do some journaling, write down, what they want to achieve that day. What's the three main things they would like to get completed that day. And it might be very small things, just stay hydrated, get my hair cut, whatever else. But I think it's really important people know that mornings are really pivotal on how the rest of the day is going to flow.
Absolutely, absolutely. The mindset that you start your day with is the way that the day will follow, whether you like it or not. Absolutely. I laugh because this morning was a prime example of that for me.
Yeah.
Because I dropped my son off at school. We had a busy morning, although we did prepare it the night before, so we knew it was going to be busy. Everything was ready the night before, so it was a bit of a routine and a process that we went through. And he got off to school, and I literally just parked up outside the house again, and I got a phone call, and he said, "Mum, can you pick me up because they've put us all into isolation."
Oh no.
That
Oh goodness.
completely blew the day for me, because then I was like driving off to him
Yeah.
in peak hour traffic to then get him back and then start the day. So yeah, absolutely. I mean, sometimes anomalies happen, and you
Yeah.
can't help those. But actually, you're right. In terms of starting the morning, being able to say to yourself, I do two things really. With my clients, I ask them to remind themselves of their values, and the core values that they want to carry with them that day, because that's the person they will become. And also, I ask them to consider some of the goals that they want to work towards in that day. And then, however they do that, those are the goals that they're going to be working towards. What we tend to do with the coaching side is that we tend to have on a weekly basis one of our kind of priority sheets, and that has kind of a list of all the things that they need to do. But actually, it's a flexible list. So what they do is that depending on the time and the energy, and the concentration that they have, they can pick tasks that they want to do in that week.
Okay.
But actually, by a certain time, all of the tasks need to be done. So, if they've got 2 hours, they've got jobs that could be done in 2 hours. If they've got 5 minutes, there's stuff that they can do in 5 minutes. So we kind of list our work and create that journal at the beginning of the week, so that they've got stuff to do and no kind of downtime. They're still
Yeah.
productive.
Yeah.
And that works really well for my clients, because we work slightly longer term. But actually, yeah, you're right that the start of the day is crucial, and how you start it. And actually, not eating in the morning, I find that a really important part of how your mindset takes you through the day.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And you're right. It's not something you can just do. I think it's a skill, to set yourself up right in the mornings. If it's journaling, if it's just, making some notes, writing down, or being with yourself, and giving yourself that space in the morning. That takes time. That's something. There's a bit of a skill that you've got to build up. I know I found that if I do meditate, it has to be guided, because again, I think meditation is a big skill as well.
Yeah, it is.
Um,
Yeah.
but yeah, it's going to be a great one to keep you focused and moving forwards, and making your day a success, really, in your own eyes. One of the things I find with high achievers and busy people is, that overwhelm thing, and I'm one of these where I will just overpack my days, and I will get to the end of the day and I'll be like, but I didn't get that done. I didn't get that done, and it's just my own fault, because I've just packed too much in and tried to do too much. And
Yeah.
I think those morning routines where you can take a breath, right? What is important today, can give you that chance to kind of not get to that point.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I've got a number of techniques that I use in coaching that help my clients to find those priorities. So, and that's why we do those lists, because we have the priority quadrant that we use as a way of kind of working out what the next goals are going to be, how the month's going to be mapped out, and then we look at what's really relevant, and then look at what's nice to have, but it's okay if you don't do them.
Yeah.
And we kind of map all of that out. So during the day-to-day routine, people have got something to work towards. I think on a daily basis, I think it's understanding what your capacity is. So I do help people to understand that, if you're going to be, we work out active hours, and actually I think it's really helpful for people to have that in mind. So to have like a number of hours that you would claim to be active hours, and what you would want to do is within those active hours understand what you'd like to achieve.
Yeah, no, I like
Um, it,
nice.
it just helps people to kind of evaluate really quickly whether that extra thing that they want to do, can that be squeezed in. If you're driving home, can you squeeze in the co-op shop, or
Yeah.
can you do, can you go and go and catch up with a friend? And it helps you to squeeze, to see how much time you can squeeze within your active hours, which
Mm.
then still keeps safe all of your you time and your family time.
Yeah, and that brings us back to that balance word, doesn't it? Then you keep that
Yeah,
balance.
absolutely.
Yeah. And the last one I wanted to talk about, Rita, was just, if you are feeling down, or you're feeling like you're in a bit of a spot where you don't feel a way out of how to make progress or get back into, you know, some sort of normality, if that's what you want to call it, or with clients that I work with, people who have been on and off diets, but not sure where to go. What would you say the best action to take, really, if someone is struggling at the moment?
I think the key thing is to take action. I think, sitting and trying to worry. I mean, if you try and work things out for yourself, and we're all in that situation, as a coach, as a life purpose coach, I can't life purpose coach myself, because I'm in the situation. It's the same for you, John. If you're in a situation and you have an episode, then actually you're not the best person to tell yourself what the best thing to do is. So it's really about, speak to somebody in the first instance. Most people turn to family and friends, which is great, just as a way of kind of understanding that you're not on your own.
Mhm,
But actually, depending on how you're really feeling,
mhm,
sometimes family and friends love us deeply, and they want us to feel better. So they will try their best, but they may not be the right people to speak with. In which case, as I'm sure you agree, John, it's about kind of finding the right expert or the right person external to your network who always has your best interest at heart,
mhm.
but will also hold you accountable for your actions.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I've always got a coach. I think it'd be going against what I speak about, what I talk about, and what I believe in. I think having a coach or a mentor, someone there that you can bounce ideas off, and someone just to give you that clarity, that focus, and accountability is just so essential if you're really wanting to get out of your current state that you're in. You feel blocked, you feel that you can't make any progress. I just think reaching out and getting a coach, someone who's been there as well, someone who's been there, struggled, and can give you that focus and support is really, really important. So
Yeah,
absolutely.
absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. It's really important to understand that if you really want to take control, you need to be held accountable, and that you need somebody that is going to really just help you to understand yourself.
Mhm.
And I think when you talk to your loved ones, sometimes that's quite hard because they just want wrap, wrap you around and take
Yeah,
care of you, and that's not always the best thing.
yeah, no, absolutely, absolutely. Rita, it's been fantastic. Thank you very much for that. I'm sure people are going to get a hell of a lot out of that. I hope so. And we'll be doing some more of these in the future because I really enjoy them. Just having conversations and how to help people. That's why we do what we do. It's very empowering for us knowing that we're making a difference to people's lives and helping people to be successful physically, mentally, whatever it may be. So brilliant. Thank you very, very much. Rita, where could people find you if they're interested in working with yourself?
Yeah, I've got two or three places. So I have a website, rpbcoaching.com. In fact, if anyone went and searched for at RPB Coaching, they'll find my social media. So they'll find LinkedIn, Twitter, and Facebook. And also they'll find my website. So any of those mediums will find its way back to me.
That's fantastic. Thank you. And same with myself. If anyone's interested in, health, well-being, fitness, thestronglifeclub.co.uk. And again, you'll find all my social media there as well, links to. So brilliant. Thank you very, very much, Rita. And
Thanks,
I'm
John.
sure we will have a few more on the way soon.
Absolutely. Thanks for inviting me along today.
Cheers now. Bye.
Bye.